Hi guys, I hope you had a good trading week and all prepared for the festival. Now let's quickly do an analysis for the next week. Now if you remember the analysis for the last week of Nifty, we were expecting the market to test the 12,000 range if the 11,700 resistance is broken, right? If you go back and check, we were discussing that there should be at least one hourly candle closing below 11,700 and then we decide to buy, but that did not happen. So 11,700 was tested last week, but we did not have a breakout, right? And this week was more or less flat. I would not say very strongly bearish, though it did go down till 11,500, but currently is at 583, right? So you can see rejection both sides. Let's start with the weekly. Weekly candle, you can see a very small candlestick, indecision, that too at the resistance. So chances are that we should be looking at a downward move again, a test of the support, right? Unless, just like last week, unless we have 11,700 being broken on the lower time frames, then we can expect 12,000 to be tested. But looking at the current scenario, there's a much higher chance, because this also is a double top if you see the lower time frames, right? So we have a strong double top here. So I'm expecting the market to actually touch 11,000 and test that support for next week. Similarly with Bank Nifty, we have not much of a movement that we saw for this week. Yeah, so same way. Now we have indecision here also. I'm expecting the similar move here, but Bank Nifty is more sideways. At least Nifty looks like it would do a downward move. I'm not expecting much of a move on Bank Nifty. It should more or less be in a range for this week. Now moving on to the market, the other stocks, what I'd like to share with you is overall picture of the market. Banks all looking either pullback or sideways, except ICICI Bank. Automobile sector looking bearish, but we don't have any confirmations yet except for Bajaj Auto. Bajaj Auto and Hero Motor Company, yes, they're showing bearish moves, but not the other ones. And then we have Telecom looking bearish for Bharti Infratel. Consumer sector, you have Hindustan, which is bullish, and ITC bearish. And metals is actually looking bearish. Vedanta, Hindalco. That's the overview of the expectations for next week, right? So let's go ahead and check the technicals for which the reasons behind this analysis. We'll start with ICICI Bank. You can see ICICI Bank has actually, although overall the banks are not looking that great right now, but this week ICICI Bank has made a new high and closed behind the previous resistance. Also closed as a Marubozu candle, indicating you can expect bullish move next week also, but definitely not at the current price. We would wait for a pullback and then you could enter. So ideal price to enter would be below or around 450 range. If the market breaks 450, then there could be a deeper pullback. So we'll check where the pullback could happen. So if 450 is broken, it could go to 434. But overall trend looks strongly bullish on ICICI Bank. So even though Bank Nifty looks sideways, ICICI Bank looks bullish. IndusInd Bank, we're looking at a downward move, actually a strong bearish move. So there was a slight pullback last week, and this week it's a continuation. So you can expect this to fall further. SBI, okay, so you can see that this particular week we have a strong rejection from the support, market moving up, right? Moving really fast. But if you look at the overall picture, we are in a very strong zone. Lot of resistance support nearby. So although the momentum seems to be on the upside, the direction seems to be on the bullish side, but you will not be able to see clear moves, right? I'm expecting the market to actually take a break at stop at 292 first, because that seems to be the next resistance. And again, since we are at 282, I would not want to buy at the current price. I would wait for a lower entry next week and then buy, because you can see that we are in a strong consolidation, a very range bound market, a lot of resistance support around the price. So a lower entry would be the ideal. Entry around 260 range would be the best strategy to trade SBI, with a target of about 290. Okay, so I would not buy at the current price. Now, before moving on to the automobile sector, let us take a look at BHEL. So what you can see here is a strong downward move, right? But we also have a lot of support at this range. So do we have a reversal yet? Okay, so last week we had a strong bullish move, which actually closed above the recent resistance, and then we had a pullback this week. So we will have to go into a lower time frame to check what we can expect. Okay, so I'm not that convinced with the breakout. I'm more bearish on this, because you can see that it has not closed above the previous resistance, right? So I would be bearish on BHEL. I think the gap should be covered. Once the market tests 41, then we'll see whether we are bottoming out or not. But currently, I do not see signs of bullish movement. Okay, then let's get back to automobile sector. Bajaj Auto seems to have given a bearish confirmation. We had an indecision with a candlestick closing just below the low of the doji yesterday. Today's candle has closed below that, and if you check the weekly chart, we have a strong rejection at a very good support resistance, like very strong So although this is range bound, I would still be bearish on this, but my target would first be 3022. Okay, once this is broken, then I will probably look at the next support, the stronger support, which is at 2761. But for now, I would be bearish. Also, you can see this move, a small pullback, another move. So a pullback is due, and we just had the confirmation at the resistance. So Bajaj Auto bearish for next week. Just want to see whether we need to wait for any pullbacks. Okay, so I would not really wait for a pullback, because we have a lower low, lower close. Today's candle has closed below the low of yesterday's candle, which is a strong sign that we should be looking at a downward move, right? So I'm bearish on Bajaj Auto. Hero, also similar view. The reason being that this candlestick, so we had these back-to-back rejections earlier, and today's candlestick again shows that we're looking at a downward move. So the safest target would be 2572, and once this is broken, 2515, right? But again, bearish on Hero Motor Company, Corporation actually. Telecom, Infratel, you can see for obvious reasons why we're bearish. We've just broken out of this support, which has been a strong support ever since October 2018. So 1 year of support finally broken. That's the reason I'm bearish on Infratel. There might be a slight pullback, but with the way the candlestick is closed, I'm not too sure. So ideally, in such cases, whenever you see such a strong consolidation breaking, most of the time the market will retest at least 38.2%, right? So I would draw the Fibonacci of just this fall, and I would try to target a sell after the market retraces to 233. Hindustan Unilever, if you check the weekly chart, although there is an indecision, but market did gap up, so still on the bullish side. So if we have a reversal next week, market closing below 2071, then that would form an evening star, and then pullback starts. But as of now, I would still be bullish. So be careful on this. You can buy after a pullback. A market is already consolidating here, so I would wait for a pullback and then buy this. ITC, we can see we were bearish earlier itself. You can see this strong support which had broken. Price did a fall, and then it is right now playing in that range. But you can see the rejection this week, right? So this week candle indicates we should be looking at the low being tested very soon, hopefully in the next week. So bearish on ITC again. Gale, there was a downward move, a pullback of 38%, and now a confirmation. So you can expect a new low forming in Gale very soon. So you can see the candlestick is closed like a Marubozu, so expecting further downside continuation immediately from the beginning of the week. Reliance is looking strongly bullish. No signs, no signals of retracement yet. You can see the bullish, the weekly chart, we had a rejection and then price actually pulled back up. Daily chart, although we had a bearish candle today, but that really is insignificant. The body and the wick are almost the same, and previous day's movement was not really challenged, right? So still bullish on Reliance for this week. Metals are looking bearish, so Vedanta definitely bearish. You can see if we go to the weekly chart, we've been bearish on this for a while now. There was a pullback, again a minor pullback. Now you can expect the market to test 125 very soon. So this should be a good short to actually hold for a few weeks. Hindalco again looking bearish. Strong downward move, price did a pullback, and now a confirmation. So you can expect the market to test 170 very soon, hopefully this week. That brings us to the end of today's session. So please share your feedback, how your trading is going, and especially if it has improved after watching the analysis here. We'd be very happy to read your comments. Also wish you a happy Diwali and see you guys next week. Bye bye.